I code while I'm waiting for my son to get out of school. Like I code while I'm walking my dog.
Yep.
And it's really just like prompting, but it seems so easy to me, but like these people are asking about it because they're like,
Right.
we don't know where to start. The other thing that I noticed that you did recently, and we talked a little bit about this, but you were out filming super early in the morning, some turkey hunting.
Dude, yeah. I'm actually psyched we can talk about this. Yeah, when I was Scotty turkey hunting, 4 a.m, we're going out, and it's raining the last couple days that we did it.
It's pitch black.
Pitch black out. And essentially you're really just getting to the spot and getting set up. And then, while the sun's rising, then you can start filming. But at the same time, he doesn't understand, or I don't think he understands, like you need light to shoot. Because part of it is, I brought the Osmo, which does pick up a little bit when it's dark. But yeah, you gotta wait for the light to come out to even, start filming.
I mean, the iPhone does such a good job. So some people think like, oh, well, I've done it before with my phone.
Right.
And it's true, but the minute you throw that up on YouTube, it's going to look pretty gnarly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was super cool. I mean, he did get a couple turkeys, which was awesome. And the first hunt that we went on, I filmed and I was zoomed in on the wrong turkey. And he shot the one that was in front of him. But we're behind a bush. I'm zoomed all the way in. So all I see is, very tight, one turkey. He shoots. The turkey, scrambles. And I'm sitting there like, shoot it again. And not knowing, he's like, what? And then I'm like, oh my God, I missed the shot.
Dude, that's the shot. If you have the BTS of that, where you're like, shoot it again. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, my Osmo picked up his shot, but it's obviously like a wide of him and the bird. But the nice tight shot, I blew it. But the next day we went out again, and I nailed the shot. So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's the thing with like when we were filming that hunting doc. It's like you don't usually get second chances, and you got to figure out where he's looking, and like you can't talk about it because it's so split second.
Yep.
So now when you watch like a hunting film or any other docs, or like when I watch them on YouTube, I'm like, I get it. I get why they're so like last minute pieced together, because there's no plan. You
have zero time. And let me tell you, like, you would think turkeys are like, just like, it's a bird, it's a stupid little animal.
They're smart.
Their eyesight, dude, we're a mile away. And Scotty's like, dude, they can detect any movement, duck down. We got to go all the way around here. Cause like they'll detect you.
Yeah.
And so like, you can't talk, you can't move. When he's ready in position, it's like, that's it. You better hope that you nail it, because there's no talking back and forth or anything.
Yeah. And then you feel bad if you miss it, because he's like done all his prep.
Right.
He's like, oh, I did it. I got the like he's so good at it that like then he went out again and was able to do it again. But like it's like having a client and they're like, all right, and here's the shot, and you miss that shot and they can't redo it.
Right. Yep.
Unless they put the full production together again.
That's what's hard about hunting, is like you can't redo those shots. It's so quick. It's one time. I mean, especially with like elk, it's like we got so lucky when we got in there and actually, started filming so close. You don't get those opportunities. You can't be like, oh, hold on, reset, and tell the elk to come back out.
That, and like when you're out there, you're nervous too. Like you're like unsure of what to get, and it's nerve-wracking. It's like a live stream. It's very much so like a live stream, except the live stream, you have like 3 cameras. No one's really doing anything crazy out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
But if you miss something, it's the same feeling.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing too is he had his GoPro in facing him. He has a little Sony cam on his gun that, records the shot. But then he's like, he looks at his GoPro, it failed. His Sony camera failed. He's like, everything failed. Like, what the hell? Did we get the shot? And I got the wrong turkey. And then, but luckily the Osmo got it. But I mean, we had 4 cameras going, and only 1 camera actually got the shot. So,
but that's what people don't get. It's not like a lot of these things, live stream, events, marketing, commercials. Yes, you could do things with 1 camera and 1 person, but like, the chances of failure are so high with 1 camera and one camera operator. And I don't think companies understand that. They're like, oh yeah, we don't need the 2 cameras. We'll just do the one.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a safety thing to make sure you have a second shot or like an alternative in case you need more footage to fill in. Or like in your case, you had 4 cameras and one of them got the shot.
Yep. I mean, I do think I have found the perfect system for wildlife shooting. If you're a photographer and want to film as well, I've created the perfect system, and it's so simple.
What is it?
So I have the R3.
Yep.
So I was using the R3 with my long lens, and then I just put my Osmo. I have an attachment for my Osmo on my hot shoe, and you put it on tracking mode, so it was tracking Scotty. So if I had to pan or anything, it was still on him.
That's incredible.
And I was getting the shot. I've used it the last 3 times. It is the perfect setup for what I'm doing. It's unbelievable.
It's almost, I wonder if you could somehow rig it up so it doesn't look too ridiculous, that you could have it like capture you if you want to vlog, like say you wanted to vlog wildlife stuff while you're shooting.
Yes. So you can turn it around and do the selfie mode and do the same thing. I mean, I guess when you're really up close, because I have the extender battery on the Osmo, so it makes it stick out more, which is better. It puts the camera a little further away. But yeah, if you want to turn around and film yourself, I mean, I can't wait to go out and wildlife shoot to see if I can get that to work.
But what about like if you're not holding your camera? That's what I'm thinking. Like you would have to have some like weird pole like pointed off of your backpack or something to always follow you. You know what I mean?
To shoot. Yeah.
Like I wonder what that looks like. Like, is there a way where it's not super crazy intrusive that you could have, like, so every time you're like turning in the woods and looking around, it's capturing you looking around without your camera, and then you pull your camera up and you can see you shooting with your camera versus just seeing your face.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the hard part with this was we were crawling through, branches and bushes. Like we were actually getting down and crawling in the ground and, going under stuff. So it's like you need a pretty compact setup for that. But usually you wouldn't be doing that, I guess. So
unless you had like the camera not in your hands and you had like a pole and you were like crawling on the ground with the pole holding the Osmo or something, and then like you walked around, but then your hands are tied.
No, what you could do is, how they have the rings for like the focus or whatever? You could kind of get a ring not on the focus but around the lens, because the lens sticks out so much. You could then mount the Osmo facing back where it would be wide enough to get you, the camera, and maybe a little bit of the lens. That could be a cool little...
Dude, new product.
Let's do it. Let's drop it.
Dude, 3D print that thing. Let's go.
Yeah.
CNC it. Like, I mean, you build the little... You build the ring and it just like bounces. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It has a little like offshoot thing to hold anything, like GoPro.
Yeah, you can do a GoPro mount. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Done.
Build it now. If you're listening to this, one of 58 people, don't build it.
No, please build it and send it to us.
Let us know. We'll try it out.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a good little couple days of that.
That's sweet. Also, if you're listening to this, I've seen like 180, 200 views, which is not a lot, but it's more than 58 subscribers. So if you're viewing this right now and you're watching and you're trying to support this, please subscribe because it helps us. It makes us want to create more.
Sean's coming after you if you don't subscribe is what he's really trying to say.
Yeah, I can track all the analytics. I know who isn't subscribed.
Let's start shouting out names.
Yeah. User 3565. No, but seriously, it's cool if you subscribe because it makes us feel better, basically. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Makes us feel better. Feel like,
booster.
There's like 100 people now subscribed. I sent you that ad that I found.
Super cool, yeah.
The Heineken ad. It's really, we'll link it below. It's incredible because it's not something that a beer company needs to do or has to do. And it's a completely different take on like a creator economy. And so basically it features, I think it's Joe Jonas, and he's like walking around an apocalyptic space, like looking for service and also trying to like be a creator and like connect to people mobile, and no one's responding, and everybody in the end, basically everybody's at this bar hanging out in person. And so it's taking this whole like people living on their phones and showing that everybody is now going to be in person and actually wants experiences.
Yeah, it was a very cool concept. Took a while to get to the end of to be like Heineken, beer. You got the point at the end of it. But there was a lot of famous YouTubers in there in the commercial. I don't know if you realize that. All those people were content creators.
Right. And you wonder, like, what is the push for it? Like, basically, it's like influencers trying to live a real life, and like the focus may not be on them any longer. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to get out of it.
I think it was kind of like, go see people in real life, go to the bar, go experience, people instead of being on your phone. So it was kind of like, put your phone down, go to the bar, you see people hanging out, partying, drinking, Heineken, obviously. So that's what I got from it.
Go experience real life.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Do you think that's going to be, I think there's going to be a massive push for that. I think if there's already beer companies and ads, it's like maybe there's music festivals or Coachella, like things that will now be like, put your phone in this locker and go experience it. And like maybe there's an incentive too. Like if you put your phone in this locker for the day, the only problem with that, I guess, is like being able to emergency call somebody.
Right. But no, I mean, there's that app that I forget what it's called. We talked about it a while ago, but it is an app that like you can connect with people and go out to dinner with them or whatever, go out to lunch with them, and it brings like 6 people together. And
I forget what it's called.
Yeah. But it's just like just to connect with people, because people, we have a guy who comes to the bar every single day from 3:00 till the time we close. He's there more than I am. It's insane.
That guy, but he's like, so much money.
I have nobody. He's like, this is my family. Like, this is, I don't have anyone to go and like hang out with or connect with. And he's like lonely, but, one of those apps would be great for him. So he can kind of like go out and meet people and, I don't know, experience life. Just people trying to meet up and, real life, put the phones down. And I think it was a cool ad. I think it was creative.
I think it's going to come back to that somehow. I wonder if there's a way, if you were to do those events where people like put their phone away, if there was a way to like, this might be expensive, but like swap out their phone with like a simple one or something. There's got to be, or maybe there's a way to like,
dude, that's the app. Create an app that, you know what I mean? It shuts their phone down until you can do emergency calls and that's it.
Damn, like it bricks your phone as you walk in the door. That's kind of cool. You could call it Brick, BRIK.
I'm creating it right now.
Dude, buy that.com right now. Let's go. Somebody's going to start that. I don't have the technical skills to start that.
It's I think that's a very cool thing. It's like once you get into the door, your phone you download the app or something and it bricks it. I think that's kind of cool because then you're just there.
Maybe it's tied to like Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
So like you scan your tickets the minute you scan your tickets. You'd have to figure out a way to unbrick it and make sure that it works really well so that the phone doesn't get messed up coming back out of the event. But man, if you could figure that out from a technology standpoint and brick people's phones,
I'm sure so many events would buy that.
Because they already do the bag, which is really interesting because if you have to do that, you can't access your phone.
Right.
Like you have to, like, so if there is an emergency, you either have to like cut the bag open or you'd have to go to somebody who can unlock it. So it's actually the same thing. They're already doing it, but you still have your physical phone. Cause like if you had to go put it somewhere and then go find your locker, that's pretty much a pain in the ass. But you could brick them. Dude,
now my brain's scrambling. I'm going to be looking
like
at this
over there all of a sudden.
I'm coding right now.
I mean, I know this is a creator podcast and we talk about like filmmaking, but we can dive into a little coding stuff.
Dude, I mean, I love it. And I
It's
think,
creator.
yeah, it's super creator. It's super, it's like nowadays, if you think of something, you can create it. As you know, if you're not into that space, into the coding space, you can still make it.
Crazy. I mean, I think it's helpful too for creatives because you could also create like a landing page for your whatever, your film or
Bro, I gotta talk about this because I'm so excited.
do it.
I was texting you yesterday, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna build a new menu page for my restaurant. And because the one we have was just like shitty. So within hours, I built a whole new landing page, uploaded photos, all the prices, all of our stuff.
It looks
and
good.
Uploaded
Dude.
it. It's already live.
I know it's clean.
I couldn't believe it. A couple hours and it was done.
It's incredible. Like, we talk about this before where it's like, oh, you have a phone, you can go create. Like now, you literally have no excuse. Like if you have a business idea of any sort, you could literally start today and you could probably go live in a week.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yep.
I mean, I want to try, like maybe we sit down and try like a weekend and we build a whole thing in a weekend, like film the whole thing and launch it.
Do that.
All right, we're going to do it. It's going to be a podcast, maybe.
That would be, dude, a weekend podcast of just filming and we're trying to build something.
Yeah, we're going to build something.
Dude, we'll go live.
Get that subscriber rate up. Let's go. Maybe that's all we need to do is like continue to podcast, but maybe change things up a little bit. Like do show a behind the scenes of like a shoot or do other things part of the podcast. Like where it's not just talking. I mean, the talking's fun, but maybe for some people who are watching on YouTube, it'd be cool to see behind the scenes while we're working or building something.
Definitely. I mean, I think people love to see kind of how you create, you know what I mean? Like what's your process and all that. So I think that people would love that.
I feel like I have too many things that I want to do that it's so hard to do any of the things. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but like I have these things that I think of and I'm like, all right, I could do that, this. And like, I literally have like ChatGPT open and everything else. And I'm like working, but then I'll have an idea and I'll start like writing and then I build something and then I go back to what I should be doing.
Yep.
It's crazy. I mean, I think it's helpful now to have that tool because you could also visualize products in the way that things should look. And maybe it helps like with filmmaking a little bit, but I haven't found anything besides the thing I'm working on currently. I haven't found anything else for filmmaking that would be helpful to like build.
It's just people haven't thought of it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be so many things, you know, out there, but
yeah. I wonder, it's almost like just getting a group together of filmmakers and editors and just having them discuss their pain points and then you just create.
Yeah, I mean
that's all it is.
Right. You just have to solve a problem and you are solving a big problem with yours, the one that you're creating. And but it's the best part is it's going to be useful for you regardless. Yeah. Which means it's going to be useful for other people if when you go live with it.
Yeah, and once it goes live and we figure it all out, I'll talk about it more. But
I didn't want to drop it.
Don't drop it. It's top secret, incognito. Let's go. Yeah, I think I'm excited about it. I think it'll be helpful, and all I want to do is work on that. But I've got to do other production stuff. So
I know it's so addicting.
It is. Yeah, I think the other thing I wanted to talk about too that I found fun and refreshing was the other day we shot something with Lego with kids. And it was super fun. It was like we interviewed kids who were like 8, 6, 9, and they just talked about Lego, but also just talked about life. And like, dude, some of the things they came up with was amazing. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And like, I remember you came in the room and you did have a good point. You were like, you were filming some B-roll and then you came in and you're like, Oh, I see why the responses aren't.
Well, I sat and listened to you guys talking to these kids, and you guys were kind of like talking to them like they were, adults, like, hey, state your name, where you're from, and stuff like that. And I was like, these kids aren't going to respond to that. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So you got to talk to them like you're a kid. And
true.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was a very fun shoot.
I think that is helpful. Like, I think that's how it is when you're interviewing anybody. Like, you have to think about who they are and what they're doing. Like, if they're a software engineer, if they're a kid, if they're an artist, you have to kind of connect with them on those levels to get the real conversation out. And if you're talking to like a CMO or CEO, maybe take it down a notch from what they're used to and like talk about things like, oh, I heard you like to fish. And like you start to get in like real conversation,
which they love. Yeah.
Versus like hitting them with like, well, what's your strategy for the next 5 months? And like that really changes when you become like a person talking to a person versus like somebody just, here's a bunch of questions. Let's answer them. Let's get this done.
Yeah. Yeah. And one cool thing too is like, I guess a tip if you're doing interviews and stuff, Elena does it perfectly. But it's when you're doing the name, what's your name, where are you from, what's your position or whatever. It's like have them do that in the beginning, but then also have them do that at the end, because usually the last time they do it, it's much more they're much more comfortable. It sounds way better. Because I was cutting up something that we did, and I used the last one of everyone's pretty much, and it was just sounds so much better.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that's how some of the original questions come out too. Like when you ask the first 2 questions, you might have to go back to those too because people are getting warmed up. And the other thing we've seen, which hopefully anybody out there, if you're doing an interview or a film, try not to have the person being interviewed memorize stuff, because that is a nightmare.
It's the worst.
They're like, oh, I've been practicing. And you're like, no, we don't want that. It's good for them to know what they're going to be talking about. But like, if you give them 10 questions, you're like, this is what I'm going to ask you. It's something they're going to try and memorize. And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's a tips on interviewing.
And that actually would have been a cool behind the scenes. I think we took a couple photos, but that was a very small room. The lighting was not the best because you had those windows, light blasting in there. And even with the setup with the kids, you were talking about we should have pushed
the
stuff
lighting
back a little bit so they didn't seem like it was such an intense feeling.
Yeah, we had a nice book light, which looks awesome. But the problem with that is you usually have to build it close to the subject and wrap it. And so it's a lot. It looks overwhelming when you're sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also took this from Walter, but hanging a nice light overhead to give a little eye light, which that's what that overhead light does. It gives like a nice eye light. So that was cool to have like a new technique. Learned that from Walter.
Yeah, that's
Boston
the best.
Gaffer.
Yeah. Boston Gaffer.
I mean, he's great to learn from, and I love having him on set. I worry that he's gonna move soon. I don't know.
I think he's out of here.
I feel like that with like once you get into a process too with certain people, and then they move on, you got to figure like that's something I think in any field, but definitely in production. It's like you need to make sure that you can keep operating even if somebody's not available or they move somewhere, because that's going to happen. Like if you have your core 10 freelancers you go to, like you've got to just always keep track of extra people, because some people might move, like you might move to Florida or something.
True.
You've talked
but
about
the good thing with you is that you do have the lighting set up. It's easier to hire a lighting person to then do these shoots, but if need be, you do have the lighting set up. And the cool thing about learning from Walter and stuff like that is you can take what he's done on these shoots and be like, oh, I remember what he did last time, just like you were talking about the catch light.
Yeah.
Let me try to do it. And then it works, and do it all the time. So it's great.
Yeah, I think you have to do that in this field, is like you have to learn things on set that others do in case, like you said, you need to operate without that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happened before. Like we'll get a budget cut and you can only bring 2 people, and now 2 people have to do everything. which is not ideal. And some production companies would probably say no to it, but it depends what the job is. Sometimes we'll take it even if it's like no crew, but asking all the same things. It's a crazy thing to do.
I know. I find that very funny.
Yeah.
But
And it's hard because like when do you stop taking those? Like when we had Cal on the other day on the podcast, he was like, we leave at 6. We wrap at 6 every day. It does not matter.
yeah.
Or like 5. It's like no chance we ever go over. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty incredible. But I think you just lay it down. You're like,
you have to.
The problem with what we do, and maybe this is wrong, but like a problem with a lot of our productions is they're ever changing. So it's like we have an event, the event's going to be all day. We need all these things. You could just hit them with, we're not staying past 5.
You could. I mean, your problem, which I don't think is a problem, but sometimes is you're just too nice. You're too nice of a person. You know what I mean? Like you just want to be able to, and it makes sense because you want that relationship to flourish, and you know what I mean, get better.
That's what it is.
Right. But at the same point, it's like if you ask them, whoever the client might be, if you ask them, you know, something about their job, like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you know what I mean? Like they'd probably be like, no, we're out. We closed down. We're not going to do that. So yeah.
I know, but it's a survival tactic. And maybe I'm just overthinking it where I'm like, well, if I say no, they're going to go with somebody else. But maybe they will. I don't know. It's not like I've definitely gotten better at saying no to certain things because we used to take everything.
Yeah.
And now there's some things where I'm like, I don't like, we got asked to do something on a weekend the other day. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because it was like a lower budget. We had just shot stuff all week. And I'm like, I don't need to shoot on the weekend too. So I think, I don't know. And I mean, there's plenty of people that would take that. They would take all week, work all weekend and keep filming. And I think now I'm in the position where I'm like, we're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like only on the weekend and it's a big production and it makes sense. Sure. But if we've been shooting all week and then somebody asks for like a one-off on the weekend, I'm not going to take it.
Yeah. I mean, that's good that you're at the position where you can, you know what I mean? Some people wouldn't be there and they'd be like, they'll take anything they can get.
Yeah. So. One thing I saw recently is a bunch of people asking this actually in like a subreddit I was in. They were like, if I'm late 30s, early 40s, and I'm just starting out, is this a bad idea to get into production? What do you think?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking.
No, I think he should dive right in. I don't think there's any age limit to. I think that's such a stupid question for him to even ask in the Reddit. I mean, if you're into something, jump in, do it.
I think people are scared. I think the biggest thing is like, say you're late 30s and you've been an accountant and you've just been killing it as an accountant and you have a great deal of clients and customers and now you're like, I've always wanted to be a photographer. Is it a bad idea? I don't know. I don't think so, to switch over because like you're really passionate about it. You just have to be okay with losing the income that you currently have and restarting, which obviously is it's crazy to do. You think like most people are going to tell you, don't do that. It's insane. You're going to like not make any money. But that's what people said when I started. It's like, no one's paying anybody. It's going to be a shit show. And it was. And it still is, really.
Definitely. But I think when you're of that age as well, you have a little bit more hustle because you have to make it work. Like if you quit your job and you want to become a photographer, you have to make it work because you have bills to pay. You know what I mean? Like when you're a kid and you're just like dabbling in, you know, photography or videography or whatever, maybe you're still living at your parents' house. Your bills aren't crazy. You can kind of like mess around.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a perfect example. This dad who was on my other podcast, Daddy Issues.
Shout out Daddy Issues.
Shout out Daddy Issues. Moved to
You're gonna
Colorado.
pay for that sponsorship, by the way.
God damn it. He moved to Colorado and he was a carpenter or whatever in like New Jersey or something, but moved to Colorado because his kids moved out there and he became a photographer. And he showed me his stuff, but he was all over the place shooting, you know, sports, shooting yearbook photos, some nature, landscape. Like he was shooting everything he could. But he was like, I'm actually doing really good out here because I'm getting a lot of clients. Like it's a lot of random jobs, but he's making it work, which is awesome. And he was like, I've always loved photography, but I needed to work. I needed to do whatever. So I didn't want to jump in. He jumped in and he's killing it now, which is great.
And he just did it, like that, like anybody asking these questions, I get it. You're looking for like people to confirm that it's a good idea. But like, even if 100 people in Reddit were like, this is a great idea, you don't know any of those people.
Right.
And they could be bots. Like, I don't know. Like, it's nice to ask, I guess, a community, but you also have to have the answer in your head. Like, I'm going to do this and maybe do it.
I think it's stupid to ask a community. I think that's the stupidest question to ask people, should I do this?
But everybody does that. People do that. People do that online. People do it on Instagram. They ask for permission. I don't think you should ask for permission.
Yeah, if you want to ask for tips and tricks and help on whatever, that's cool. But to ask whether you should do something or not, like, do you like to do it? Do you want to do it? Do it.
Right. Like if you think about it all the time and all you want to do is take photos and create, then you should do it. Because life's way too short. Like if you want to be, I don't know, a circus person, I don't know. Then you go, I got to pick something ridiculous.
If you want to be a clown, then
yeah, then you just go do it. Like, I don't know. It's funny that people, or like even actors and models, like people have this perception. Like some people are like, oh man, I'd love to be like in a movie, but like no one would ever pick me. It's like, if you would love to be in a movie, go start trying out for parts. Like, go do some improv. Like, do it.
Yep.
Because everybody who's in movies now, at some point, they probably had no idea what the hell they were doing.
Yep.
Everybody who's a famous director had no idea what the hell they were doing. And not everybody starts in the same spot, for sure. Some people get lucky. Some people have a better life growing up as a child. They have more things that they have access to. But most people start off having no freaking clue what they're doing. Like zero.
Yeah. I mean, I have a photography friend who, when he was first getting into photography, was messaging me like, hey, what camera should I buy? I'm getting into photography, blah, blah, blah. Knew nothing. So I'm giving him tips and pointers. And then, 6-7 years later, I'm asking him, questions and for help. It's like, because he just grew that much. Like he's so good and his photos are amazing. But it's funny. It's like, if you just keep grinding at whatever you're doing, it will become, people will start asking you for advice and tips on whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah. And do you think you could do more than one thing? Like, so say, not that you can, I guess you can master something, but if you're good at something and you want to try something else, do you think you have to hang up that other thing, or can you do them simultaneously? Like if you're a really good photographer and you want to go be a musician, but you have to put time into the music, are you going to hang up your photography to go all in on being a musician?
I mean, that's the thing. You just have to put time in it. And I think it just depends on the time. For me, if I'm into something like, we have the restaurant and I do another podcast and I'm really into those. But if I want to do something else like coding or whatever, I'll stay up till 2 a.m. I'll do what I need to do during the day. But then on my free time, I'll spend it doing whatever I, am trying to enjoy. So I don't think that people would rather sleep.
Or watch Netflix.
Yeah, or chill. Exactly. It's like, use that time to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And if chilling is what you need to do and decompress, then do that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. People shouldn't like shame you for just chilling.
Right.
Like, some people don't want to do that. Like, I used to watch TV a lot, and now all I do is code.
I love it.
Which is like so weird and weirdly addicting now. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's a new space, probably.
It's a new space, but your ideas can now be real.
True.
We used to think of ideas and be like, oh man, I wish if we knew someone who could create this, that'd be awesome.
Could code.
Now we can be like, whatever you're thinking, you can now create.
And you can at least get a like a product that can function. It may not be perfect and it may not be the top thing, but it can function. And if you needed to show it to somebody to make it next level, you could. Because there are, I think what I'm seeing at least is you're able to make it, you're able to show it functions and show people that you can do it. I think to make it in the top like tier of apps and websites, you still need that extra push of a developer or somebody. But if you need to just ship something and get it out there, I mean, there's people right now that are making apps that make $500 to $1,000 a day.
It's incredible.
And they're by themselves and they had no background at all.
Right. And that's the other thing. The team that you need is you. That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't need a huge developing team and stuff like that. You can just create it yourself.
Yeah. And that's the thing with like filming or video. When you get to a level of wanting to create things, you still need a team. And that's the one thing that I sit down and think of is like, I love creating films and making commercial type videos, but I always need a team. Like I would love to try and do it myself, but I know it would be a nightmare. So like there are certain things you still need a team for. And I think there will always be a need for a team in filmmaking. Yes, you'll have the AI tools that can help, but in reality, like you're not going to be able to make, I don't think you're going to be able to make that like incredible storytelling video by yourself.
Right. I mean, I definitely agree with that. Because because you could make it by yourself, but then if you had a team, I believe it would come out 10 times better because of doing sound, doing color. Like, I feel like those are, spaces that someone has mastered, or whoever's doing color is focused on color. They're not focused on doing audio and filming and stuff. They are focused on that one thing. Same with sound, same with video. So when you do it all, like, sure, it will come out okay, but when you then send it to someone who that's what they specialize in, it comes out 10 times better.
I also think not even the skill set, but like, even when we have a couple people here in the studio, like if you come in and Elena's here and Ben's here and like just talking through things, like, yeah, you could do that with yourself. You could do that with AI, but like talking with real people, you get these like ideas that those aren't going to jump out of a screen. Like, it's like going back to that Heineken ad. Like, we need human interaction in order to serve people human interaction content. Like, you can't just serve great storytelling content from learning it through a freaking screen. Like, you need to experience it. And everybody wants to see what you're experiencing. And that's what people are most interested in. They're not interested in like the next coolest ad.
Right.
So I think that's why it will live on. And going back to the technicals, color grading, I think we're real close to seeing that get automated. It's sad, but I think if I were to sit back and think of anything we do in film, audio's pretty damn good now.
I was going to say audio is it's
audio mixing,
amazing.
Yeah, like this podcast gets a little bit of like AI mixing on top of it because we know a little bit about sound, but in order to get it to a nice, crisp sound, you need a little bit of extra tools and things to do like that. And you could pull it into a program and do it, but it might take you 3 hours. And so simplifying that process, yeah, I'll sign up for that all day. But color grading, I think we're close. I think we're going to see something where you say, shot on FX3.
Pick your style.
It can see the image. So it sees like, okay, this was exposed like one stop over. Like, it can read all that. It can see it. So how would it not be able to color it?
Right.
Like, why is that not here yet? Or is it and I just haven't seen it?
Well, yeah, maybe. I think you'll be able to correct the color to what it's supposed to be, but then I think you'll be able to even add like your mood and, if it's a little more blue, it's sadder or whatever,
Yeah.
I think you'll be able to do that probably pretty easily. You're right.
Yeah, and you'll still have to create your own looks. Like, I think you don't want to do right out of the box because everybody will be doing horror film shot inside, like it will look the same. But I think that's close.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that this year. I don't know.
Yeah, Da Vinci just came out with a little dope update.
Oh, really? I never update mine because
I didn't update yet, but I watched a bunch of videos on it.
That's the thing is most people are watching it. They're like, that's really cool. I'm going to try that, but I'm not going to try it now because I know your tricks. That used to happen with Premiere. I'd be like, oh, that's sick. Download, crash.
So frustrating. Yeah.
And then you try and go backwards and you already opened the project in the new one and you can't go backwards. That's a nightmare. Or you're working with somebody else and they're using the newest one.
That happens with us a couple of times. Yeah.
And then you're like, dude, why did you upgrade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm interested to see where the color grading goes. That to me would be helpful. I love having somebody fine tune it and do color, and color is really fun. Like I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But man, if you could design a look around your films, like, oh, this is the juke booth look, and like always have that look without having to go deep into color grading, I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know.
I think I have one more thing here. Let's see.
I literally came with 0.
Oh,
I just showed up.
I'm not surprised.
That's the norm for me. Until you texted me this morning too, I forgot. I was like, oh shit.
I have one more thing. What was it? Oh, I found an ad about the new Brad Pitt film that's coming out, I think on Apple and probably in the next month or so. Have you seen that? The trailer for it, the F1?
Oh no, not F1. What's it about, racing?
Yeah. So they basically are doing a whole F1 team that Brad Pitt is on. He actually learned how to drive, I think it was Formula 2 cars. And he spent like 4 or 5 months driving real Formula 2 cars so that he could drive in the film.
Oh, wow.
So he practiced that. They also had the team be sponsored by real sponsors. And so the jersey or like the outfit they're wearing has like Mercedes, I think IWC, the watch company, is on there. And they all had to pay millions to be on this fake jersey for this film.
Because it's going to be a film on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because it's like ad placement.
That's where people are looking now. They're like, hey, no one's going to watch my Mercedes commercial, or they're not thinking about Mercedes maybe when they even watch Formula 1. But when they sit down to watch this film and it's like, this is the film, you're going to want to maybe buy that watch because it was in the film or whatever. And so they're betting that that's the way that marketing and sponsorship is going.
It's so funny because like when you look at a company that is as massive as Mercedes or Lindt Chocolate or something like that, I'm like, the amount of money that they spend on marketing and ads and stuff, I'm like, what if they just kept that money for the year, didn't really, because they're already so massive that people know who they are when they see it at the shelf. It's already in their brain like, oh, let me grab that. Or, when you look for a car, do you really need to put out those ads to remind people that you're there when you're that big of a company?
I think you do when you're battling for certain spots. So Mercedes, maybe not. Lindt, maybe, because like there's a lot of new chocolate companies.
I don't know any other high-end chocolate company out there. If I was to go for like a gift or something, the only chocolate that I would know is Lindt chocolate.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
that's just the go-to.
I guess it's because it's been a household name.
Right. So it's like why do they need to do ads anymore?
But look at Hershey's. Hershey's does no ads. And they're still
when I get a s'more, that's the chocolate I'm going with.
But that's the number one selling chocolate.
Yeah. And they don't do ads anymore. Is that what you're saying? Right.
Yeah.
They're saving a bunch of money.
But they're so known. They were like, were the chocolate.
You're saying Lindt chocolate isn't known?
I think they're still battling at the store. I think with some of the new brands, I think they're having, or maybe it's a weird thing where they're like, we have to spend ad budget. Maybe it's a write-off.
I mean, I guess that's true too.
Because as you make all this money, you have no marketing. Yeah, maybe you make less revenue, but all of a sudden you're paying all that in taxes because
that's true.
So I think you have to, it's a weird loop where you're spending money to make money and you need to spend the money. Otherwise you're going to just pay it to the government. And so everybody's like, let's just spend it on endless ads.
That's true. It's true.
Which brings up the point of why are we getting still so much crap mail? Like people are still advertising in mail. I
honestly think that that's not a bad.
Do you think that's the space?
I think that's the space because so many people have moved out of it that, maybe that's still the space. Just like email, it's like,
crafted, processed junk mail.
You're going to get we're going to start sending flyers out.
Dude, maybe that's maybe we should. Maybe we should just print a shit ton of flyers and just send them to people. Yeah. And with a QR code and you watch like a short.
It would probably kill. People just don't want to do the guerrilla marketing anymore. They just want an easy, what can I do that's easy and I don't need to think about it.
Right. And I heard somebody else talking about that easy thing. Like people will take courses now. So whether it's a podcast course, a filmmaking course, a course on how to cook better, they'll buy it for like $100, $300, $2,000. And then they'll make it through like 30% of the course. And they'll be like, why am I not good at this?
Right.
People don't want to put the effort in. So like they want the button. They're like, even the AI stuff, they're like, oh, you can create. Cool. So I just click and it creates. It's like, well, you have to talk to it. And like, oh no,
put a little bit of work in.
I'm out. I got to talk to it.
It's so true. Yeah.
So when people talk about, oh, like everybody's going to be doing it, everybody's going to take your jobs. I don't think so. I think there's things that will automate workflows, but I don't think there's still people that have to do things. And I think there always will be. And there's a lot of people that don't want to put that effort in. And that's just the society we live in. I mean, I don't know.
Dude,
it's
I'm
hard
100%
to say,
with you.
But it's almost like people don't want to put the extra effort in.
Yeah. And the funny thing is there's no excuse now. You can do anything now from sitting on your phone. You don't even need a computer. You can do everything from your phone. And people are just lazy. People just want that easy button, to create.
That's what I'd be doing if I was a college professor or in colleges right now teaching any sort of entrepreneurship, or I would be having kids build companies build a company in a week, start it, real company, launch it. Let's go through what you need. I mean, that would be an incredible program. Maybe some of them do it, but I don't think enough. Same with filmmaking. Like, all right, you're going to make a short film this semester, start writing it. You're going to write it by X day. We're going to get everything together and we're going to film it and we're going to do it right. We're not going to do like, here's a camera, go film in your dorm room. Like,
right. But I mean, to me too, it's like going to college for that. I think you're going to learn more diving into the real world, go join a production company or go do 100%. Something else. I think you'll learn way faster doing that than going to school to learn.
For a lot of things now. I think even marketing, like there's important things underlying that you should learn about marketing. But if you just went to a marketing agency and you interned there, you'd probably learn 10x more than you would in a classroom.
Yeah, dude. But the other scary thing too is like with ChatGPT, you were telling me the other day, like you can get, people that have died already, Steve Jobs and whoever the other people were, but how you can get Benjamin Franklin. Yeah. You can get their like marketing plan and whatever, have it write out a marketing plan in their speech.
There was a guy on YouTube I found, he wrote the app in a night. So it's a website. He was like bored thinking about like, how would Benjamin Franklin market this company? And he basically wrote a prompt that dug into how they functioned as a human being and how they thought. So like, how would these people think nowadays about your business? and like what would they do? And you literally just type in like, my business is this. I would really like to know how Benjamin Franklin would do this. And it would literally build a plan out for you of how he would approach it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's just pulled off of articles online and old things that he wrote and like old things he believed in. So it's not like 100%, but it's pretty damn close.
Dude, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be AI talking to AI, and there's going to be no human interaction with whatever you're trying to do. It's going to be like marketing or a phone call to reservation, but it's an AI, answering, and everything's just done through prompts and AI.
But then getting back to the Heineken ad, does that allow us to exist and enjoy life? Like you could still run a company, but maybe all the crazy mundane stuff is being auto worked on. Like maybe you come up with the ideas and you build the business, but then all the crazy day-to-day and sales get done while you're like enjoying time with your family.
But here's the hard part: as if you own that company, I'm not going to pay somebody $100,000 a year if they're sitting on their ass, half the week. You know what I mean? Like you'll pay the person who created the app or whatever to be able to get those jobs done. But once you pay that, then it's like, then you're good. Maybe have one person there to be able to, manage it if something goes wrong, but I'm not going to pay a group of people if they're not doing anything.
So I think the race would be to be the company that builds the people who build the things for the other companies.
Right.
So like you run a company with real people building agents or whatever. And then, because there's so many companies right now that like we just got hit up by an agency that was like, what do you know about AI? And I was like, well,
let me tell you.
How much time do you have? Like thinking I'm like a master at it, which I'm not, but I'm like, well, I code while I'm walking down the street. I code while I'm waiting for my son to get out of school. Like I code while I'm walking my dog. Yep. And it's really just like prompting, but it seems so easy to me, but like these people are asking about it because they're like, right. We don't know where to start, which it is overwhelming. It's like, there's all these things that you could do, but like, which one do you do? So yeah. I get it.
I think the job force, this is my prediction. I think people will start going back to trade jobs because the AI spaces might not take over, but as a company, you're not going to need as many people to get these jobs done. So I think these people are going to be forced to then having to use their hands again, going back to, construction, plumbing, electrician, whatever it might be, to get these jobs done.
Which maybe brings us back to being able to make our own things in the US. Maybe that's the reason why we're trying to manufacture more in the US is like, we will actually have the time to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of things that I think it's going to take time because as long as people are buying these products and paying for these services, there's still money coming in. So like I don't think people are, I don't know how big companies are going to deal with it. Like, are they going to immediately start letting go of people because they're like, well, we figured out an automation workflow?
I would.
I mean,
I would in a second. Why would you not?
Speaking of that, I saw somebody posted yesterday, the CEO of Fiverr sent out a letter to everyone who worked at Fiverr, all the staff and the freelancers, mostly the freelancers who was talking to. But he wrote a letter and it was like, basically, I'm sorry to say, but you should start looking at other things to do with your time.
It's already happening.
Which is crazy to come from somebody who is a CEO of a company where all they do is design. I think they're building the AI thing super fast inside of Fiverr so that when you go to Fiverr, it's actually an AI agent.
Yeah.
And I think they have some of that right now.
Yeah. The hard part is, do you blame the CEO? Like, yeah, it sucks that all these people are getting let go of their job, but do you blame him? Why would you keep people on that an AI agent can do?
Well, he's not even, it's basically, he's sending it out mostly to the freelancers who work on his platform.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
because in the end, it's crappy to say, but like in the end, the Fiverr business will still continue as long as they add AI into their platform. And then I think the loop I think that works best is if you had the AI help and then there was always still human, because even for like editing stuff or reading through things, like shit's not always correct. Like, so I think there's a human in the loop for a little bit here, which will keep people around. I think people should learn AI to keep some of their positions at some of these corporations.
100%.
Because like if you already know these tools and somebody's like, hey, we found a workflow, you're like, I found a better workflow. I actually found a workflow to accelerate this. They're like, oh shit, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like you're already on it.
Yeah.
I think you should learn a little bit of it so that you can assist along the way versus just be like, okay, I guess I'm out. I'm going to go find a different spot to work.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and I think like even ChatGPT with problem solving, dude, it's my go-to. Like
Right.
I'll take a screenshot of something I can't figure out. I'll send it to ChatGPT and it'll break it down for me right there. So it's like, even if you do have a problem, AI can ChatGPT is very good at figuring out what that issue is.
Yeah. For the most part, I think, yes. I think there's certain things like I can kind of tell now online when people write things with AI. Like I can, like on LinkedIn and things like that, I'm like, wow. Like there's a lot of people who comment straight up with AI. They'll copy a post somebody wrote, you can tell, and then they put it into ChatGPT and they're like, write the best LinkedIn comment. And then they literally copy and put that in and you're like, that doesn't sound like a true, because a comment would be something where it's like, oh, this is cool, man. Like, I love it. Like, or wow, great insights. I think we should work together. Like something that feels a little more human than the points that you've made here are incredible because it does X, Y, and Z. Do you think that this is and like, there's always questions in a lot of the responses usually where it's like, how do you think we should do this? There's also a lot of dashes. If you see people's shit with hyphens like this.
Yep. I wonder if people even reread the message or if they just copy it and send it.
100% don't.
Right.
Like I use it to assist with my newsletter, and I just launched one this morning and I had it help write this article about an Apple ad that I just saw. Which, did you see the new Apple ad?
No.
Really cool. It was kind of like this guy who's a little like nerdy and like building up strength. And so he's been lifting or whatever. And he's in his room and he has an iPhone. He has his mom take photos of him probably for some like social media site. So he's like posing, like putting his arms up and then he goes and he's like sitting in his bed, like going to edit them and post them. And in the background, there was a mirror behind him and he can see his mom taking the photo.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh man. And he just like circles her and
it
removes her. And so they're selling the AI removal without being like, think you want to remove so-and-so from your picture?
Storytelling right there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where I was going with that, but that was
cool,
an incredible ad. Yeah. I forgot what there was some other reason I was talking about that and I lost my train of thought.
Yeah. Pretty much AI is the shit. So
I think for the most part, I think, like I said, I think there's still some things that need human in the loop. I believe in like this whole process, especially with filmmaking. I think for now, I think we're good for like a few more years to just like push through and create awesome stuff for people. And then maybe in 5 years or so, I think it's going to be tough to stand out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping for 10, 20 years, but I think you have to adapt.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know if that's like adapt and change your whole outlook and stop doing exactly what you're doing, or just adapt with how you deliver content to people. Like, do you deliver it a certain way? Like, are you able to deliver more like customizable content? Also the film thing, like filming in person, AI is not going to take that over.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to, even the camera companies, I don't think they're going to design a camera that you just throw up on sticks and it just like makes the whole film perfectly and knows where to light from. I think that's a little chaotic to try and automate.
But even now you can add lighting in editing, which is it's pretty cool that you can do that.
Yeah, but it's taking the image and lightening it up with like a gradient. So it's not real. It helps. I don't think it will get that good that you could. The only way you could ever do that is if somehow the camera filmed in a way that it was like layers and you could lighten layers to make it feel like lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think filmmaking is safe for a bit. I think editing is safe for a little bit. Color grading, I don't think is safe. I don't think designing is safe. I think just go build something.
Yeah. Shit.
I don't know. Maybe that's the whole thing of this episode. Just go build something. If you can think it right now, you can 100% build it. Unless you're trying to like fly to the moon or something.
You could build that. You literally could build that. I almost did one day on my couch.
Disclaimer in this episode, you cannot just build a rocket ship through AI. Even though Dan thinks you can, it can't physically. The next cool thing, I mean, we could talk about this all day, but the next cool thing might be you can talk to some sort of AI in a machine shop and it will make your product for you. Like imagine if you could talk to a product engineer robot and you could see it live and you're like, hey, I need a lens ring that holds this thing and 100%. It's got to be 56 millimeters around and it's got to have an extension arm on it. It's got to have this little dongle thing.
Right. Here's the lens I want to put it on. So can you measure it? I'm sure. Yeah.
Here are the inspiration of the tools I like to implement. This is like the lock system I want to implement. Damn, dude.
Dude, I'm so excited for like 10, 15 years from now to like see where we are.
Yeah, we're either like in an apocalyptic world.
Right.
I don't know. If the AI thing takes over, it's going to be kind of sad.
Yeah, but you still need people to, prompt it. And so it's like, if you don't jump into the AI space now, you're going to be behind for sure.
Would you be more worried if you were just starting to get into the workforce or less worried? Like, see how like we have a little bit of like, oh, we've been doing this for a bit. We feel like we're kind of in a safe space.
Oh, and if someone jumping in right now, I think you can. I think we still have a couple of years where people can still crush on filmmaking, photography, whatever you're doing. I still think we're a couple of years out.
Okay,
where you can crush it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely like a window is closing. Like if you want to be a filmmaker or photographer and you're asking in a Reddit forum right now, you should go do it.
Yeah.
Because if you're waiting for those responses, it might be too late.
I would have been so mean on that post. Thank God I'm not in there.
Maybe you were there at one point, though. You were asking, like, should I go?
Nope. No, I will never ask if I should go do something. I just think it's stupid.
I get it. All right. Lesson. Don't go ask for permission. Just go do it.
100%.
That's the pod.